Hey, it's Rob Jackson with Fandroid.com, and I'm here with an app called Carrier Coverage, which, as you can see, is in private beta. At the bottom of this article, actually, we've included a link so you can download it and get early access to the app. It will be coming out in Android market in the next 2 to 3 weeks, though. And I'm going to give you a tour, but first I want to kind of explain the concept, which it should, based on the name, be pretty straightforward. But if I want to know, at home, where I work, where I'm going on vacation, where I'm going to move to, who the best carrier is, what the, signal strength is at a specific address, whatever, what can I do? I mean, I could say I have AT&T, look at their coverage map, and see where theoretically I should or shouldn't get good coverage. But that's not independent information. Obviously, they want to show you the best thing possible based on the towers they have, and all the competitors are going to try and show the best they possibly can. We'd rather know what the real information is and what consumers are actually experiencing, and that's what Carrier Coverage helps to put together and facilitate. I don't live in San Francisco, but right now I'm in San Francisco. As you all know, a ton of tech events happen out here. So I'm actually in San Francisco. So I have this app installed, and what it's doing is it sends information every X minutes about my location, signal strength, and all that up to Carrier Coverage servers, which takes all the information from everybody contributing and then uses that to help paint a picture of how different carriers are performing in different areas. So let's actually dive into the app and show you what it's all about. When you open the app, you can see there are 3 different tabs: Me, Reports, and News. So, at the top of the Me tab, we've got, it shows what our signal strength is over the entire use of the app. So, from the beginning of when I first opened it until now, what is my average signal strength? I've only submitted 11 pings, and my average signal strength is 2.55. I can go to the settings and change how often it pings. Right now it's on Friendly Helper, which is once every hour, and that won't really drain too much battery life at all. You can be a hardcore fan, which is what I want to do, and ping once every 5 minutes. You can also turn it off so you don't ping at all, but you can still access data of carriers and phones and stuff and do research or whatever you'd like to. But by submitting data, that's how the tool builds and makes it useful for other people. So thank you to everybody that's helping build this tool. There's also some other options, and I've turned on disable pings on low battery. Show notification icon will show up here when it's actually pinging. But we're just going to leave those settings the same and press save. So now I'm back to this Me tab. So this is what my phone has actually reported over the course of using the app. Right here you can see it detects that I'm using Verizon Wireless and I'm using a Droid X, and it tells me that, oh, in my country Verizon is number 1, and the average signal strength for all Verizon users combined is 3.52. The Droid X is the 3rd best phone in the country, and it has an average signal strength of 3.96. So obviously there are some phones that are getting really great signal strength. Right now this app only has about 30 to 40 users, so the data isn't as accurate as it could be, obviously. I mean, the idea is to get hundreds of thousands or millions of people using this, and then the data becomes really, really accurate simply because of the power of numbers. So you've gotten, on the Me tab, your specific information about your carrier, your phone, and now your location. As you can see, I'm in San Francisco, California. So the top carrier in San Francisco is Verizon Wireless, and the top device is the Droid X, which is luckily what I'm using right now. And you can see a list and see, here are all the carriers in San Francisco that have been reported, and this is Verizon Wireless is an average 3.81, then AT&T, then T-Mobile, and no Sprint users in San Francisco yet. The idea is if all you download this, a lot of more data, a lot more accurate, but that's interesting to note. Then we've got the device list. So in San Francisco, we've got the Droid X number 1, Atrix 4G, G2X, then the Nexus 1. So everything above an average of 3, which is great, except for me. My phone isn't doing so well. That's really only because it has 12 pings, and I'm holed up in a hotel room right now. But say I want to do a report. Now I can really hone in and see, information about very specific things that I'm interested in. Say I want to change the location, and I'm going to move to Baltimore, Maryland. So, oops, let me type in, I'll search for Baltimore. And there it comes, Baltimore, Maryland. So it's changed the location in Baltimore. I'm interested in what carriers are the best on, I'll do the city basis. Or no, let's do, so here's what you can do: city, you can do state, you can do country, you can do radius. Let's actually see the best in the country. So I'm going to run the report, and it will think about it and pop up with the list of the best carriers in the country. We've got Verizon, number 1, then AT&T, then T-Mobile, and Sprint pulling up the rear, and then Velocity, which I'm guessing this is some type of third-party facilitator of data. There have been some weird instances of names, and this is in beta, so kind of expect that. But another interest, so let me switch this and do devices, and let's see what devices are best in the country. And this is more interesting than just information. The G2, and for example here, I mean, the G2 only has 1 ping and it's a 4, so it's marked the best phone. The Droid, wow, someone with the Droid, original Droid, is just killing it with almost 2,000 pings of 3.99, so that's crazy. Crazy good wherever they are. And hopefully all these numbers will average out better once time goes on and more users are contributing. But for example, what if I want to know, the best carrier on a city level? I could check that out and run the report. And there you go. Looks like Verizon is the best carrier. So I might be inclined to get Verizon. Or what if I'm going on vacation somewhere and I don't know what specific address I can choose. Let's try, what if I type in like Camden Yards? Because obviously I'm a professional baseball player, so I'm gonna, Vandenberg Yards? It's definitely not right. Camden Yards, which is Oriole Park at Camden Yards, where the Baltimore Orioles play. Let's see if it will come up with the address. Baltimore Orioles, there we go. So, that's a specific address, and now I can see what carriers, will perform well within like a 1 mile radius. And I'm not sure if this even has users this at Camden Yards quite yet, and it looks like it doesn't because the report didn't pop up. Hopefully more people will begin using this, and you can get very, very, specific information about specific areas with your all's help. So that's the Me tab and the Report tab. Then there's the News tab, which is just currently pulling in information about mobile news and forced closing. And hopefully the beta group will help to monitor bugs like that and submit them, which a great tool for that, by the way, is an app called Alogcat. So if you're going to join the beta, definitely check out Alogcat. So that's the tool pretty much. Really excited to see more people use this and see how the data pans out. There's a lot of interesting uses for this too, to see which carrier is the best in which cities. Just see who's performing better. We could use this to try and figure out where 4G is lighting up in different areas, what new phones are out there being used, what phones are most popular. Lots of different uses for this, but it's in its most basic form. It's a pretty useful tool in general. I mean, I think it's pretty neat just to see what my personal average signal strength is, and then compare it to other people in certain areas, or with my phone and with my carrier. I mean, it's interesting that Verizon's average signal strength is 3.52, but do you perform better than the average Verizon user or worse? So just an interesting tool in general just to have, but certainly there are times of your life cycle of tech use that you may really find it helpful to make a purchase decision, like, oh wow, I was going to move to some suburban place in the outside of Boston, and Sprint has like a 1.0 signal, I better switch carriers. So this is carrier coverage. Again, you can download this. Carriercoverage.com, you can sign up to be part of the beta, but check the link at the bottom of this article, and there is currently, for a limited time, they're keeping it open, so you can go to the site and through a secret little link download it. But for others, if they, I don't know, by the time you've watched this, they might have closed it up. But regardless, it should be on Android Market in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So that is Carrier Coverage at carriercoverage.com on Android Market. Download it, try it out, and let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks, guys.